folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Today we're going to be making fresh strawberries and cream. Now, strawberries are very hard to keep fresh. And when I find strawberries, I like to buy, I don't know, 3 or 4 pints of them if they're on sale and enjoy them for a few days. Well, I bought these last night, late yesterday evening, and they all looked perfect when I brought them home. But you can see here that a lot of them are already getting some pretty bad spots, and they're starting to shrivel up. And by tomorrow morning, these strawberries are all going to be ready for the trash. So, you have 2 options. You can cut them up, put them in your cups, put your cream on them, and eat them right now. Which, you know, that's simple enough. But if you want to buy extra and you want to enjoy them for 3, 4, 5 days, maybe even a little bit longer, it's pretty simple to preserve them. What you want to do after you cut them up is put them in a bowl like this and then sprinkle just a little bit of sugar on them. And I mean just a little bit. Like in these here, I probably have 2 teaspoons of sugar, maybe less, for what's in this bowl. And that does 2 things. It gives you a little bit of juice, you can see there in the edge of the bowl, and it also keeps your strawberries from wilting. So like I said, you can enjoy them for 3, 4, 5 days, maybe even a little bit longer. And all you do is just a little bit of granulated sugar, sprinkle it over them, and put them in the fridge, cover them. Make sure you cover them before you put them in there, and they'll last much longer. Now, you do want to wash your strawberries good when you buy them in the store. They have a lot of pesticides on them. They are supposed to be the heaviest coated fruit that you can get, and that's probably because they do wilt so quickly. I mean, they're very susceptible to funguses and bacterias, not just pests. So in order to preserve them, to even get them to your grocery store, they have to put something on them. I remember when I was a kid, we would all go strawberry picking, and we would pick wild strawberries. There was at least 3 fields full of wild strawberries that were within walking distance. And me and my granny and my mama and my Aunt Dot and sometimes my Aunt Imogene, we all called her Pork. I'm not sure how she got that name, but I rarely ever heard anybody call her anything other than Pork when I was a kid. We would all my cousins, there would probably be 20 of us, headed out to the berry patch. And a few of us had those plastic ice cream buckets, you know, with the handle on them. But most of us had milk jugs that had the top kind of cut off on them, but you still had the handle. And I'm not sure where they even got all those milk jugs at, because my granny had a cow and they never ever bought milk that I know of. I think people must have given them the milk jugs. I mean, the stuff that we throw away today and just take for granted used to be tools. I mean, I don't know how in the world we would have carried all those berries, what we would have put them in, if we hadn't had that, because there would literally be 15, 20 of us headed out to a berry patch together to pick wild strawberries. So very few of us have 15 or 20 containers that we can put berries in. But they would save the milk jugs, the ice cream buckets, whatever. So anyway, whether you want to eat them fresh like this and no sugar added, or you want to be able to preserve your strawberries for a couple of days, we're just going to cut them up and put them in some kind of cute little dessert dish. And like I said, you can do this whole thing, no sugar added. Or if you want something a little sweeter, or you want to preserve them, you add a little sugar to the strawberries. And you can add a little sugar to these strawberries that haven't been in the refrigerator too. Like some of them, sometimes you'll get them and half of them aren't quite ripe and they don't have a whole lot of flavor. A little bit of sugar will bring that flavor out. Now, I did a video on whipped cream already, but a lot of people, I think they still don't know how easy it is to make whipped cream, and people are still using the store-bought stuff, which is not really even cream. It's not really even food. And I saw a video the other day. I don't even know what made me click on it. Somebody had commented, and then I went to a video, and it took them 30 minutes to make fresh whipped cream, which I don't understand how that's even possible. They actually shut the camera down and came back the next day and finished it. A whipped cream literally should only take a couple of minutes. I only have about half a cup of heavy cream here, and that's all it'll take for these 4 servings. I did put my jar in the freezer right before I started my cameras. You can see there's condensation on it now, but I wanted to chill it because if everything's cold, that makes it much easier to whip the cream. Now, you can use a hand mixer. I used my stand mixer in the other video. If you happen to have one of these little hand blenders with a whisk attachment on it, it works great. Some kind of whisk attachment does work better for making whipped cream. You can even put a lid on this jar and shake it and shake it and shake it. Now, it will take a while to whip it shaking it. I'm going to be honest with you. And it'll take a while to whip it if you're hand whisking it. But you can also hand whisk it. But if you have some sort of a power appliance, like a hand mixer, hand blender, whatever, it just takes a minute. That's it. Literally, I don't know what was that, maybe 15-20 seconds. My cream is stiff. You can use this just like this, no sugar added. Put it on your berries, or you could sweeten it just a little bit. And you do want to whip the cream before you sweeten it. If you forget and you dump in your sugar and your vanilla before you whip it, it will still whip. It just takes a little bit longer, but it should not take 30 minutes. I'm probably only going to use about 2 teaspoons of powdered sugar in this. You can use granulated sugar, but the cornstarch in the powdered sugar kind of helps keep the whipped cream stiff. And I'm going to put just about 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla in this. You don't want much vanilla in this much cream. I said I only had about half a cup of cream. And then just whip it again. It's stiff, it's fluffy, it only took a minute, and it didn't make a mess. Now, there are techniques where you can stabilize whipped cream, and I am going to do a video and show y'all how to do that, like if you want to do a whipped cream frosting or something like that. But for things like this, I like to make my whipped cream fresh every time I eat it. So even if I buy a whole bunch of berries and I put sugar on them and I put them in the refrigerator, and Brett and I are going to eat them every night for a week, which this time of year, sometimes we have fresh strawberries every night for a week because they're in season, they're really cheap. And I wish you could find somewhere around here to pick them, but it seems like all the wild strawberry patches are gone. But you can put them in the fridge, enjoy them all week long, and make this cream fresh every time you eat them. But all you do is just add your cream to the top of your berries. My dad spent, I don't know, a couple of months with us back a few years ago, and it was about this time of year, and we had these almost every night when he was here. This is one of his favorite foods. So if you're watching this, this is all there is to making those strawberries and cream that we had for dessert every night while you were here. And you have fresh strawberries and cream. It literally only takes 5 minutes to make this. It is delicious. I can't imagine anybody not liking this. You can do it, like I said, 100% no sugar added. Do the fresh cream though. Don't do that frozen stuff in a bowl. Strawberries just were not meant to be put with that stuff. I appreciate you joining us in the Hillbilly Kitchen. Don't forget to click like and subscribe before you leave. And until next time, remember to put God first.